Hey, y'all, it's your girl Claudia Jordan, and we're back with TGIF. We're here to spill the tea and break down the biggest headlines in the news and on social media. And later on the show, we are celebrating Black Music Month with the star and executive producers of Super Freak, the Rick James Story, Stokely, Jacarius Johnson, and Ty James. So sit back, relax, and get ready to sip on this hot tea. Please welcome Al Reynolds. What's up, Al?
What's going on, Claudia?
I'm ready for the show, and please welcome Armand Wiggins. What's up, Armand?
Hey, I'm ready to get into some things.
Okay, y'all drinking tonight? I have to ask.
A little bit.
No, not drinking here. Good old fashioned ice water, baby.
Why? What's wrong?
Nothing. Just want to clear mind for a good show.
That usually gives us a better show that when we have those alcoholic beverages. And Armand, are you off that too?
Child, I've been drinking a lot. It's been my birthday, so I've been drinking too much. I'm over drinking.
Okay, well, good for y'all for being clean. I got a little Moscato up to the side off camera, but I haven't touched it. But all right.
Okay.
All right, well, no fun. But okay, let's get into these topics. I guess I salute y'all. In celebration of Pride Month, we have some great news. Fox Soul family T.S. Madison just announced that she's opening up the T.S. Madison Starter House. In partnership with NASM, the Starter House will provide housing to Black trans women who are looking to exit the sex work industry, which I think that is amazing. TS has been very vocal about getting started in the business in that way and how she evolved from that, which is such an accomplishment. I'm super proud of TS Madison. What do you think about this historical moment? Armand, I'm gonna go to you first on this. What do you think?
I love this. I'm super excited for TS. You know, I kind of started in this business doing this because of TS Madison. I've always looked up to her. She's always been on my vision board. And just to keep seeing her raise the bar in her career, especially from where she started from, is just phenomenal. I love her and I love following behind her. But I remember when she was buying her new house and then she had this house up, we would talk and I'm like, bro, what are you gonna do? She was like, I'm gonna make this a starter house. I'm gonna have the girls in here and I'm gonna use this for the other girls coming up. And it's just great that, the conversation that we had on the phone, now I'm able to see it come to fruition. So I'm proud of everything that T.S. Madison does because I always feel like she sets the tone for me to like, all right, this is what I should do next. Like I look up to her so much. So I'm just grateful and I'm happy and I think it's amazing.
Tanya Christopher said, wow, so proud of her. Dr. Larry Speaks Truth said, this is beautiful. And one MS Love said, yes, that's our Libra mother. Al, what do you think about this?
You know what? One of the many jobs that I've had was working at a sex trafficking organization, and we used to have these transition homes for former sex workers, and it's needed. It's needed. And one of the things that we always had an issue with in the homes that I worked with was that we could not house transgender men or women because it just didn't appear to be a match. A lot of funding was either for one or the other. I love the fact, if you know anything about T.S. Madison, you know that her pride and joy is her home. This is right on brand with T.S. Madison. And T.S. Madison knows that 40% of youth that are homeless in the LGBTQ plus community, specifically the trans, is the demographic that needs this the most. So for her to step in this space, to use her past experience, her past trials, and her present triumphs to help to give back speaks volumes not only to TS, but it speaks volumes to how successful this house is going to be for her. I wish you all the best. And TS, please don't forget to send me an invite on the grand opening.
T.S. Madison, I'm so proud of you. And I want to say that T.S. Madison should be an example to everybody that's not only in the community, but in the business or in just life. The way T.S. Madison has accomplished the things that she has accomplished and still remain humble. There's never an attitude with T.S. Madison. There's never an holier than thou. There's never an arrogance about T.S. Madison. And she always is humble enough to make more money, to work with whoever, to take people under her wing. And because of that, T.S. Madison continues to be extremely blessed. And I think this is going to be the first of many starter houses. This is actually her second home. It's her house that she had and then moved out of that one into a bigger mansion that she's fully remodeled. It's beautiful. And then using her other house as a starter home. I think this is amazing. I had the honor of being the executive producer, one of the executive producers, and bringing T.S. Madison's show to Fox Soul. And it's one of my most proud accomplishments because how this show started off giving a voice to gay men and men in the LGBTQ community without being exploited. Her show also was in the same vein. I'm very proud of that. And I love that Fox Soul has been open to that kind of programming and giving a voice to people like T.S. Madison as well. And look at what good she's done with like all of the attention she's gotten. And this is why she'll forever be blessed. Maddie, we love you and come back anytime. And we salute you. You are amazing. All right, Kanye West has found himself in trouble again. Kanye is being sued for sexual harassment after a woman claims that when she was an OnlyFans model, he hired her to assist with his clothing line and with his Donda album. But shortly after, Kanye started sending her inappropriate messages. Does this new allegation surprise you, Al? Let's go to you first.
No, absolutely not. I don't think it surprises you. I think anybody at this point who is even thinking about working with Kanye West knows kind of what they're signing up for. They know that it's going to be some weird stuff going on. They know there's going to be a mental breakdown. There's going to be some foul language. There's going to be some type of abuse, whether it's verbal. However, all that's fine. All of that's not illegal, but sexual abuse, sexual harassment, that's illegal. And that's what we don't like here. But the interesting part is Kanye West started, I felt like he started this journey on Sunday service back in 2019. All of this happened in 2021 when he was in full blown with his Dondra Academy, talking about, God and being godlike, only to find out that he is talking vulgar to her, masturbating while on the phone with her, paying her $1 million to give up her OnlyFans page, and then promising her $4 million and, obviously becoming very interested in her boyfriend's penis size on the backside of that. This to me speaks to his erratic behavior and his flip-flopping in his brand. I believe her, and I think she deserves her money that he promised her, and I can't wait to see if her lawyers can help her get it.
Of course, we have to say allegedly, because he did come back and say supposedly that he wants to now turn around and sue her for defamation, saying she's lying. But I'm like, Kanye, how did you go to get a OnlyFans model to work on your branding and your album? Like, what experience did she have for her to have that position? Except you want her to put her in a position, probably doggy or 69. Armand, what do you think about this?
You guys know I love Kanye, but I feel like what she was saying feels like it was too specific. Like, obviously she alleged that, there's videos and pictures of them obviously sleeping together, but it was the race baiting with the penis for me. I'm just kind of like, who would make that up? So, he was kind of talking about how his penis was racist and masturbating to it. So that was weird. I just feel like for somebody to make that up would kind of be a little creepy and it just wouldn't make sense. So I believe that he probably did do it. I just hate this though, because at some point it gets scary though, because here we are. Is it any black man, or is every black man a pervert in Hollywood at this point? Like, because it's just like, just get in line and wait for someone to expose you. That's what it starts to feel like now. Like every black man, every successful black man, just stand in line and wait your turn. You too will have a sexual assault allegation amongst you, So I don't know. I just would like a little proof, because I just don't want to.
I think for me, the question is here, why are you hiring an OnlyFans sex worker, allegedly, as your chief of staff? Why is she your chief of staff?
That's what I said. How did she get that position in the first place?
Your chief of staff? She's your chief of staff because that's a legal way of having a relationship with her and being able to do what you want to do while paying her, in my opinion. I'm not saying that was the case, but that's what it sounds like. I personally would not hire an OnlyFans model with a body like that as my chief of staff and pay her $4 million a year. The math ain't mathing. The staff ain't staffing. So that's what he's got to unravel as we talk about these accusations that are coming towards him.
I mean, you can hire someone that's bodied out, but please don't let that be their number one attribute. Like, come on, Kanye West. You are smarter than that. Aren't you the branding guy? Aren't you the genius that everybody wants to throw that word around and bestow upon you so easily? Here's my thing. It seems like all your moves are intended to annoy or get back at Kim Kardashian. Every girl you work with, hire, marry, looks like a carbon copy of her. Kim was great with the marketing. I think you miss her. And I just think you are exhausting. Some of the soulmates are saying you are exhausting, you're exhausting, we are exhausted by this. Kanye, we would like to see you win some way, but you make it so hard. From hugging Trump from the back to hiring OnlyFans as your chief of staff to all these other weird things that you're being alleged. It's giving weird. We have some comments. Biko Design says, I think kinky Kanye gonna do is have his kinky business aired out. One thing kinky Kanye is gonna have his kinky business aired out in the open. And Nikki Styles says, at this point, the whole industry is freaky. Yes, it is. And Amber Brooklyn said, people will believe anything Kanye says, unfortunately, for some reason. And Jay Scott said, he said she was sending him news, but he shot her down. Now here's a lawsuit. I guess time will tell. Something tells me this isn't the last time we'll be talking about Kanye West. Thank you, Kanye, the gift that keeps on giving. All right. During a recent podcast with Complex, Young Miami talked about JT and City Girls splitting up. Take a look.
And I felt like naturally, when she doing her own thing, it just worked for her. And when I'm doing my own thing, it worked for me. But when we get together as a group, it just wasn't connecting. Like, it just wasn't working no more.
All right. Do you think the City Girls ran their course, or will they make a comeback? And while we're at it, who else do you want to see make a comeback in music? Armand, let's go to you first.
At the end of the day, the City Girls have definitely ran their course. It's over. And even if they didn't run their course, JT needed to get the heck away from Young Miami, because with all this Diddy stuff attached to it, she wouldn't have had a chance to, have the blooming career that she's having right now. JT just made Billboard's top 10 hottest female rap list this year, today came out. So at the end of the day, this was the best move for her to make and for the City Girls. And honestly, Young Miami made great moves business-wise with her game and the podcast. It was the Diddy relationship that ultimately tanked her stuff, because she even had a reality show coming out that's not coming out now because of her affiliation with Diddy. So I think this was the best situation for both of them.
Lauren M. said, City Girls are done. Deborah Mitchell said, Young Miami is late. And Amber Brooklyn said, I think we all saw the City Girls breaking up at this point. And then after Al goes, I'm going to read the list of groups that people would like to see get back together. Al, what do you think about this story?
Listen, this is a deal. I used to like them together, and it's very sad for me to witness the two of them separate. But I'm going to tell you what I think happened. I first of all, I want to praise JT. JT, you are doing your thing, and you have found your footing, and you stay in rotation in this music scene right now. So the decision that you made to separate was very smart, even though I know that there were growing pains during that process. But look at God, JT, because I can only imagine after Carisha was starting to see a lot of popularity as she associated and transitioned into being a socialite alongside of Diddy, getting her own podcast, showing up on these carpets that normally she's never seen before. It may have empowered her to believe and think that she didn't need JT, that she didn't need the City Girls, and she wanted to focus on her own career. And that's what she did. Unfortunately, when you associated with somebody else who's now being exposed as not the best guy, in fact, a very harmful and bad guy, your brand is going to reap the brunt of that as well. So what's going on, Young Miami? What is going to be your re-entry? What is going to be your pivot? That's the important part, because you spent many years associating with someone, putting your group that put you on the map on the back burner. You put them on the back burner. So now you have to reap all those seeds that you planted when you were going up with this association with Diddy.
Let me hop in here. Yaya 502 said, let's not forget Miami held down City Girls when JT was locked up. Carisha is tired, and it's Diddy's fault. I will say this. I can't blame Young Miami for jumping on the Diddy bandwagon when that opportunity presented itself. A billionaire mogul that has lots of success in the business, well, at least for himself. I could see why she would say, hey, let me just jump on this. But it did go terribly wrong. Who would have known, who would have thunk it that all these skeletons would come falling out of that big old closet? And it did. So I can't blame her for doing that. She's a young girl, but good for JT. JT is definitely doing her thing. I did see that list too, Armand. And I was pleasantly surprised to see JT in that top 10 when she got away. And Carisha wasn't on that list at all. I will say that. Groups that people want to see get back together real quick. Candace Hood said Salt and Pepper with Spenderella. Yes. Neek 365 said, I need Escape to keep it professional. The industry loves them and the fans do too. I don't think that's going to happen. And Dr. Larry said the Braxtons. And CBD said, I'd rather have Floetry get back together. And people did, of course, say Destiny's Child. Which version? There was like 3 different versions. All right, listen, do not go anywhere. Coming up next, we are chatting with the masterminds behind the theatrical production Super Freak, the Rick James story. And later, is ghosting people a form of abuse? Let's talk all about it when we come back. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie, the freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
We are chopping it up with the host of Marriage Bootcamp, Dr. Ish Major. Welcome to the show.
TGIF.
When you and I sit down and have a heart-to-heart with no phones, no distraction, am I your person? That's the question.
Every weekday.
Kelly says, I love Ish on my screen. Is he single, asking for a friend?
Join the chat.
I am single, Kelly. Who's a friend?
Kelly, who's the friend? Please comment back.
On Fox Soul.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
My mom wanted my life to be better than what she had as a kid. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. You always want the next generation to have something better than what you had.
Welcome back to TGIF. All right, y'all. Tonight we are joined by some amazingly talented creatives that are paying homage to a fearless musician in the theatrical production Super Freak, the Rick James story. And from what I'm hearing, it is super, super dope. But first, here's a sneak peek of the cast in action.
Super Freak, the Rick James story, now live on stage.
Come on, clap your hands like this. Come on. Put your funk socks in the air like this, y'all. Everybody, let's go.
All right, please welcome the star of Super Freak, the Rick James story, Grammy-nominated singer Stokely, and the executive producers Ty James and Jacarius Johnson. How y'all feeling tonight?
Wonderful.
Great.
All right. Well, we're going to get right into it because there's a lot to talk about. And I am super excited about this. Not to mention, Ty James is Rick James' daughter as well. I cannot leave that out. So she has has a unique perspective on all of this. Now, in honor of Black Music Month, we are honoring the significant impact that Black musicians have made over time. Now, who are some of the artists that have impacted your life? Let's start with Ty. Of course, Dad, but I'd like to get into that.
I have to say, RJ, naturally, not only was he, an amazing father, he made a monumental mark on the world. So it would be besides myself if I didn't name my father. So that's definitely going to be number one for me.
Right.
Oh, really cool. Stokely, speaking of Black music, you were a part of the soulful Grammy-nominated group Mint Condition. How did that experience transform your life?
Well, that, as far as the awards, first of all, we don't do it for that. We do it and just whatever God gives us, we give to the people. And we just kind of keep that conversation going. But it's just doing what we do, just making people feel good, lifting them up, whatever they're going through in life, in the world. Hopefully we come through a little bit better on the other side, through the healing of the vibration of the music, just things how we look at it. So, yeah.
Very nice.
I love Mint Condition. So I just want to just shout that out to you as well. Like such an amazing group. And before we move on though, I didn't want to skip over Stokely and also Jacarius about musical influences that impacted your life, that affected your life before we go on to the next question. Jacarius, let's go to you.
There's been several. I mean, from Marvin Gaye to Frankie Beverly to RJ to Prince, it's just so many. I mean, just our music artists are just have affected culture, period. And you can't be Black and grow up without, these icons. So I'm just I just love music. So I'm gonna say all of them: Prince, Marvin, Frankie, and God bless him. He just did his farewell. But yeah, absolutely, all of those.
And Stokely?
I echo pretty much what Jakari is saying. Love, I'm a drummer by trade. So jazz drummers like Max Roach, Art Blakey, love, of course, Stevie Wonders of the world, the Princes, the Michael Jacksons, Marvin Gaye's, Ella Fitzgerald, Aretha Franklin, many groups, Earth, Wind and Fire, The Time, Journey, a lot of different, the Beatles, a lot of different people. Yeah.
Some good ones. Okay, man.
All right, y'all. So let's switch gears and discuss Super Freak, the Rick James story. Now, Jacarius, what inspired you to delve deeper into the story of Rick James?
Look, if we don't tell our own stories, then who's going to tell them? And Rick James was a classic example of a man who had done amazing things, but had been relegated to a soundbite from the BET Awards or a Dave Chappelle skit. Mm-hmm. And I felt like the culture, had overlooked all of the contributions that he had made. So when it became an opportunity to be able to articulate just how incredible this man was and a super freak of nature, the number of instruments he played, the number of genres of music that he impacted and created, and the whole sound of funk and soul, I wanted to get the narrative straight. I wanted to set the record straight that we need to put some respect on this man's name. Like, at the end of the day, that's what I'm Rick James, bitch, is all about. Put some respect on what I did and what I gave you. You know what I'm saying? Don't act like I didn't make a contribution to this culture. And so the opportunity to be able to pen and present the totality of him, the good, the bad, the ugly, the ups, the downs, and the funny and everything in between. And that's what you get in Super Freak, the Rick James story. You get everything from front to back.
Now, Ty, as the daughter of the late Rick James, I'm definitely going to ask you about his legacy. But since Jacarius just mentioned the "I'm Rick James" beat, the very, very famous quote that Dave Chappelle really, I just love what he did for Rick James' name. I would always want to know, how did you feel about, Dave Chappelle, impersonating your father? I saw it as paying tribute to, and just the popularity and how it went over with the masses. Like, the youth that went around when your dad was doing his thing, they're quoting Rick James through Dave Chappelle. What did you think about his portrayal? Did you like it? Was it okay?
Absolutely. Let me start with Dave. He's the best. Dave is a great guy. We love him. My dad loved him. And the reason that came off so authentic, let me just elaborate, is that these guys play around like that on a regular basis. Okay. Him, Eddie, Dave, Charlie, rest in peace. This is how they got down every day. Walk up to each other like, "What's up, man?" Pow! And you don't know where it's gonna land, in the chest, in the face. That's just, and I've witnessed that firsthand. So that's why, we all embraced it. We loved it. We sat on the couch and laughed about it every time it came on.
I just love F your couch. There's so many quotables, but okay. And now, it was so funny. Now, again, your father, amazing, Rick James. Why was it so, important to you to continue his legacy throughout through this production?
Well, I am literally a daddy's girl to the heart. When he was here, we, hung out on a regular basis. I pretended to be the mom because, I'm a Cancer, so I'm naturally a nurturer. Mm-hmm. And, I would boss him around, and he thought he was bossing me around, but that's my responsibility, and I take it very seriously. I'm passionate about it, and who else is going to do it? I have to make sure that, his name stays shining, that brand stays building, and the legacy is intact.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that comes from us also supporting it. I plan to be there tomorrow night. And I wanted to ask Stokely this. Was it challenging? You can give us the tea. This is TJF. Was it challenging for you to embody the role of such an iconic figure? And hold on, I got one more question, if you can remember it. What did you learn from the story of Rick James?
I learned how deep of a man he was. You know, I actually got a little preview of it with his books. And there's been some books that I read a few years before this. So all this stuff was preparing me for this, and I didn't even know it. So a lot of it was in the book, and I just taken like those stories, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. But then when you get to the stage play, and you get it inside your body, and you're trying to mimic some of these things, figure out what his motivation was, that's where the rub begins. It's like, okay, get it inside your bones, inside your blood, and you actually feel it. You know, there's some nights I have to come, every night I actually have to come down off of that. You know, because I'm really trying to embody the spirit, not be on the nose, because there's only one Rick James, that's it. But just to get close to his spirit of it, you know.
Right.
That makes.
I know we're asking a lot of questions about Rick Stokely, but I just want to give you your flowers. From the bits that I've seen so far, you bodied the role and you need your flowers. Like you are, like I got goosebumps, seriously. Like you did your thing. And if no one's told you today, you that guy, like killing it with Mint Condition, then go on to theater, which is extremely difficult, portraying an extremely iconic figure that is very hard to I mean, the mannerisms, the dancing, the singing, and you did it. And I just want to give you your flowers real quick. Like, seriously, I tip my invisible hat to you right now. Like you did your thing. And I cannot wait to see this. I cannot wait to see this. Now, Ty, outside of your father's groundbreaking career, you know, I gotta be nosy. You know, what is a memory of your dad that we don't know about, that, you know, something that we'd be surprised about? Is there something about your dad? Because we know dad, you know, we know the Rick James, the caricature, the personality, the entertainer, but we don't know him at home with you. And is there anything like about Rick James that we would be surprised to know, like as your dad, like any memories you can share with us?
Oh God, there are so many, but I think it's funny that, you know, for him to be this bigger than life personality, he had a terrible fear of roller coasters.
Really?
So I took him to Magic Mountain and made him go on a roller coaster after he forced me to go on a horseback riding because I had a fear of horses. So I'm on the horse crying. I said, okay, I got something for you. We go to Magic Mountain and he is literally in tears coming down. So, if you can imagine that, I have so many fond memories like that and little quirks that, you know, people just don't know that I love to share.
Okay, let me ask you this. What is it that you want the audience to take away from Super Freak, the Rick James story?
I would like for them to take away that he was so much more than even an artist. You know, we know him as the artist. We know all the accolades, the iconic, you know, man that he is. But nobody knows the father, the loving, caring father, the friend, the amazing friend. His friends love him, like beautiful friendships. One of the biggest hearts that, you know, I know for sure, and even amongst his peers, like just very well loved and compassionate, will give you the shirt off his back, literally.
We have a mutual friend, Bernadette, that used to work with your dad, and she speaks so highly to this day. Like she's very affected every year around his birthday. I heard nothing but great things. Speaking of great things, before we go, Jacarius, we are not gonna forget about you too, because you deserve your flowers as well. This brother, if you're not familiar, this man has the theater scene on lock. All these remakes of fantastic movies, he's bringing them to life in theaters. Please support Black theaters. Purchase a ticket, support this man's productions, because he's been doing quality stuff with big names, big productions. Like his stuff is amazing, Jacarius. And I just want to tell you that, like you've been doing your thing in that world, like you really have.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll be waiting for you to call me for some more. Just saying. Okay. Well, now that everyone got their flowers, you all are super talented, super amazing. I'm so glad that the universe brought y'all together. So congratulations on this amazing production. Now, if you are in the Los Angeles area this week, make sure you purchase your tickets at rickjamessuperfreaklive.com/tickets and make sure you support. But before we go, I want to definitely go to the chat because we definitely have some people that are saying great things about you. Beautiful Soul said, I saw the play in Columbus, Ohio. It was really good. Rick is a legend. And let's get to some more. Law of Attraction said, I just checked it out. It's only in LA. Is it a touring play? Is it going to be in other places? They want to know.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And Consuelo Moulton said, can't wait, Stokely, you are great for this part. And Deborah Mitchell said, I want Stokely to sing so bad. Oh, so do we, would you sing? I mean, I have no shame to ask. I'm gonna ask for our
Oh,
song.
right now. Oh,
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. Do we get something?
At the show? Like, yeah, I'll be at the show. Yeah, come on, check it out. You and I fit together like a glove on hand. That's right. Don't you know that I will gladly take you anywhere you want to go? The rest you got to go to the show and see it all.
Thank you. The remix, you definitely remixed so you won't get in trouble with copyright. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you all. And thank you so much. Good luck with the production. We will all be there when we can. And LA, go check them out and support. Great to see you all. Jacarius, Ty, and Stokely, thank you so much for blessing Fox Soul with y'all's presence in this project.
Thank you.
Break a leg, everyone.
Coming up next, find out what a Houston teacher was caught doing in class. And later, Bobby Schmurder speaks on why he's not making new music. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out.
We are chopping it up with the host of Marriage Bootcamp, Dr. Ish Major. Welcome to the show.
TGIF.
When you and I sit down and have a heart-to-heart with no phones, no distraction, am I your person? That's the question.
Every weekday.
Kelly says, I love Ish on my screen. Is he single, asking for a friend?
Join the chat.
I am single, Kelly. Who's a friend?
Kelly, who's the friend? Please comment back.
On Fox Soul.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's got to come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
Welcome back to TGIF. What a great segment. It's just showing Black excellence in Black Music Month, and I really hope y'all go support the project. All right, y'all, listen. We, on our show, love talking about the people we adore, and when it comes to getting great sleep, we really love the folks at GhostBed, so we're going to talk about them a little bit. Now, as a family-owned company with over 20 years of experience, GhostBed knows a thing or two about crafting the perfect mattress. They only use the most durable, supportive, and long-lasting materials, so you can trust that your bed will provide you with years of excellent sleep. What sets GhostBed apart is their signature and patented cooling technology. Say goodbye to those restless, sweaty nights. Every mattress keeps you cool and comfortable so you can sleep like a dream. Now, when you purchase a GhostBed mattress, your comfort is guaranteed with their 101 night sleep trial. You can try it out risk-free and experience the difference for yourself. Plus, they offer free shipping and most items ship within 24 hours. Go ahead and visit ghostbed.com/T to save 50% off site-wide. GhostBed offers high-quality mattresses at a fantastic price. The number one seller is the GhostBed Luxe, designed with premium memory foam and cutting-edge cooling technology that reacts and adjusts to your body heat as you sleep. Or if you prefer a more hybrid feel with both foam and coils, check out the GhostBed Flex Hybrid for the perfect blend of comfort and support. Now, if you need any assistance along the way, GhostBed has a team of dedicated sleep experts ready to help you find the perfect mattress. Now, they'll guide you through the options and ensure you make the best choice for your needs. Al, what are your thoughts on ghost bed mattresses?
If the mattress is anything like the pillow, and the pillow had me buy the sheets and the pillowcases, I'm here for it. It's that cooling technology for me, Claudia, because I'm a little warm-blooded. I also deal with migraines and a tad bit of snoring. And I will tell you, between the pillow, the sheets, and the pillowcases, it totally helped with that. And I'm sure if I was to do the bed, it would help it even more. I am an advocate of this particular product, and I don't go to bed without it.
I got some ghost bed pillows. They are very cool and they're pretty, like they're a mix between like firm and soft. Like it's like the perfect kind of mix. Like I don't like a pillow that's too soft or too hard. And I just got something the other day where it's a whole cover for my bed. So I will put that on and report back to the soulmates shortly about how that has increased my sleep, because at this age, sometimes you do have insomnia. All right, ready for a more comfortable nights of sleep? Visit ghostbed.com/T. And because we're all about sharing the love here at TGIF, use the code T to save 50% off your purchase site-wide. That's right, 50%. So that is fantastic. Promotional considerations furnished by Ghostbed. All right, y'all, we can all agree that social media tends to resurface some of the most random facts in pop culture history. So it's only fair that we unpack those facts in our T-Fact of the day. All right, tonight's T-Fact of the day goes to Bea Arthur, who's most famous for her role as Dorothy on the legendary show Golden Girls. Now, it's been 15 years since she passed away, but her legacy lives on, even in the LGBTQ plus community, after she left $300,000 in her will to the Ali Forney Center. Now, they opened up the Bea Arthur Residence, which is an 18-bed housing unit for homeless LGBTQ plus youth, which is amazing. And that's piggybacking off the props we gave to T.S. Madison at the top of the show. I love this. Did you all know this fact? And why do you think she was so revered by the community as a gay icon? Al, what do you think?
I think it's because in 1972, when she first started in the business, she was the only celebrity, they say one of the first celebrities that was an advocate for the LGBTQ plus community. She understood that the rejection that you received because of your sexual orientation or your gender identity led to you to be in homeless situations that were beyond your control. I just respect her for always staying true to her purpose. And her purpose was to always be an advocate for those in our community. And that was shunned upon back in the 70s, especially if you were in entertainment business. So for anyone that can stay focused on something that was out of season, was not in trend, was not popular, but continue it all the way up to the 21st century, I do nothing but lift my hat and praise her for all of it.
Bougie Barbie said, I didn't know that, but how cool of her. Armand, what do you think?
Yeah, really quick. I didn't know that either. And I thought that was amazing. And I just feel like, all the older gays, when I was coming up, they loved the Golden Girls. They would always refer to themselves as the Golden Girls. They loved the clique, the vibe. Like that was a staple. The Golden Girls was a staple in the drag community, in the bars. Like it was a thing. So I love that she's built community, because a lot of times you don't see that with a lot of people that you look up to, a lot of our celebrities, we don't know that they do these things. So it's really nice to know that there are some celebrities, particularly women, because we revere them so much, they actually look back and pour into our community as well. So I love to see that.
Absolutely. Fisheye Jedi said, baby, could nobody give you a look like Dorothy? And Enzo D'Angelo said, the Golden Girls is a staple in the community. And I love that Bea Arthur was always an advocate for the community, truly a beautiful person inside and out. And Who's This said, thanks, B, you understood the assignment. I also love when privileged white women who don't have to go out of their way to make, work in a space that's like, doesn't necessarily affect them. I'm not really sure. But the fact that she cared to do this in a time where it could give her a lot of strife. And even if she was a part of the community, she could do that and hide amongst the ranks if she wanted to. And the fact that she was very, giving and vocal like this, I think she's a pioneer. And I salute her. I think this is amazing. I really do.
And also, Claudia, when she was very active and boisterous, they tried to say that she was trans. they tried to say that she was actually a man. There were times where people would talk about her Adam's apple, but she didn't care. She still continued her advocacy, and she still continued to do great things like start this homeless shelter.
Adam's apple or not, she is the bomb. She was the bomb, and she will not get slandered on this show. That's for sure. All right, let's get back to some topics. A Houston teacher found herself in trouble after she claimed an ex-boyfriend leaked some explicit videos of her that she filmed while in the classroom. Houston activist and Fox Soul family, Quanell X, spoke about the matter. Take a look.
But now we got a teacher in the classroom on school hours, stripping down butt naked, bending over and showing everything on the video, and all you could see was cellulite hanging in pubic hair. This is a disgrace and a shame.
First of all, Face Off comes on right after the show, and I always say stick around because they be going at it. Quanell has bars. Okay, he has bars. Love him or hate him, he has bars, and he will get you together. What do you think of this mess? Armand, what you think?
I'm like, am I supposed to take this serious with the sermon? But okay, I don't know. That's ridiculous. What's going on with these teachers? I mean, it's really, really sick. I just feel like it's weird. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for teachers. OnlyFans. I'm not here for teachers and nudity around the kids. I'm not here for it.
Al, what do you think? And it's kind of like revenge pornish of him, the boyfriend do that?
No, I think we should take this very serious, and she should not only be fired, she should go to jail, and they should put her on the sex predator registry. And in fact, that's what they're pushing for, and that's what he did the press conference for. There are criminal charges when you're producing pornography on school property, and that's whether kids are in it or not, because it's called children endangerment and exploitation, and the kid does not have to be present, they just have to have reasonable access to it. And she definitely is going to be added to not only the sex offender registry, but she's also going to have her teaching certificate revoked and possibly never gotten back again. And I think all of those are not harsh enough, in my opinion. No teacher should be naked, flashing her breasts, her behind, or her pubic hairs or her front while at the schoolhouse. It's disgusting, it's illegal, and she needs to reap all of the ramifications that comes with that behavior.
You know, I get when you're in a new relationship, like things like a freaky, because it's taboo, you do things. But lady, school, where kids are, can you wait? Maybe leave school and get in your car and you drive home off school property. Yes, I do think what he did is revenge porn, because obviously they broke up and he got back and he's like, well, let me go put her out there. And that doesn't excuse her. But she's an idiot. First of all, why would you do this? A, why would you give this to someone else? B, C, why would you put your selfish sexual needs ahead of, your job security, the kids, people finding out about this? I think people are just so invincible. They think they're never going to get caught. So they just do these things. And I think it's a mess. Kenya Meon said, why not ban recordings in the classroom? And Claudaria said, why should you bring that to work? And Amber Brooklyn said, who the heck does this in the classroom, then sends them to someone else? And Jackie said, you have to send a camera with your kids to school these days. And of course, Kalia Green said his speech was hilarious.
Yeah, but can I just add this real quick though? Like, she should be charged though, because it's the innuendo. You're in the classroom, you're at school, even if no one is around. You're at a classroom being naked for OnlyFans. So you have these perverted men looking at you in a school setting. So you're triggering the mind to think children, school, So I just think that you know what you're doing. And I think what happens with this OnlyFans culture is you got to find more exciting ways to turn people on. So you start risking it all. Now you're doing it at schools and hospitals and outside in public. And I just think that she knew what she was doing when she did it in the classroom.
I think the bigger question is here, we are not outraged enough. What if this was a man? If this was a man who was out showing his penis, jerking off, doing all type of movements and stuff, this whole school would be under investigation. There's not enough outrage for this for me. I mean, from trespassing to in public indecency, and then the proximity to the children and on the children yard. This is disgusting and sick, and she needs to suffer.
Well, hopefully shows like us bringing this to light will definitely get the attention, give this the attention it needs. Now, the teacher has not been charged, but was fired from the school, and subsequently, they found out she also had an OnlyFans. Hey, how about this? Pay the teachers, and then we'll have to have an OnlyFans. Not that that's an excuse, but I'm just saying. All right, keep it locked because coming up next, a Wisconsin father is under fire. And later, you won't believe what people are saying about stepdads. Uh-oh, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out.
We are chopping it up with the host of Marriage Bootcamp, Dr. Ish Major. Welcome to the show.
TGIF.
When you and I sit down and have a heart-to-heart with no phones, no distraction, am I your person? That's the question.
Every weekday.
Kelly says, I love Ish on my screen. Is he single, asking for a friend?
Join the chat.
I am single, Kelly. Who's the friend?
Kelly, who's the friend? Please comment back.
On Fox Soul.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's gotta come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
Welcome back to the show. Soulmates, don't forget to hit that like button. We really appreciate that. All right, a social media user posted, I don't care what anybody says, but the silent treatment and ghosting is a form of abuse and it damages people. Some people agree and others say it's self-care. What are your thoughts, Al, about ghosting?
I think everybody deserves, a little more respect than just being ghosted. So I think it's immature at best, and anybody that practices ghosting should really think about if you were ghosted, how it would make you feel. So I think there are just better ways. I prefer you to text a person and break up with them or ghost them or, than just ghosting them.
Okay. Armand, what are your thoughts on ghosting?
I've been ghosted. I've ghosted people. Sometimes, sometimes it's easier just to be like, I don't want to deal with it. Just move on because it's probably gotten too far and there's no way to there's no way out. So just end it. There's no right way to end it, but to just end it. And so you just go and don't respond. And then on top of the ghosting, you also block, delete, and archive. And also in some cases restrict. So in case they try to message you, they can't get to you. Just end it all and say nothing.
I'm going to say it's a case-by-case basis. I think it depends on the situations, the circumstances around your breakup. If you had a great relationship with someone and it didn't work out for whatever reason, it wasn't like cheating or abuse or nothing like that, but, you guys were good friends and it just didn't work out, I think it's really cruel to go someone without an explanation. I think people avoid things because it's hard. I think that's the cowardly way of life. Now, if someone abused you and it's really bad for your mental health to speak to them again and you think you're too weak to be around them and they may be able to reel you back in, then I think that is when ghosting is appropriate. I just think it's a case-by-case basis. Because I have friends that have broken up with people, right? And I tell them, why don't you have a conversation and tell them what they did wrong? Because they're throwing them back into the dating pool and they're just going back to square one. There's no lesson learned if they don't know what they did wrong. So I think when you can do that, but if in case of abuse or your mental health, maybe not. Brian Smith said, getting ghosted is not a good feeling, but I've ghosted people, so I can't be mad. Billie Jean 327 said, if I'm not talking to you, you more than likely know the reason why. And Ken Cassidy said, if I ghost you, it obviously wasn't worth me explaining the S in the first place. And D Love said, I believe toxic people don't need an explanation as to why they were ghosted. Ooh, there's a lot of pro ghosts in the comments. Lots of pro ghosts.
Because you know when you've been ghosted or you know why you're ghosting. 9 times out of 10, you're not surprised. The energy is like, these are not long-term situations where, oh my God, I've been with you 15 years and it's like, oh, I ghosted you. No, it's like maybe a couple of months, maybe a week, or maybe 6 months at most, but it wasn't working out and you just stopped talking. Like, what happened. So you just end up moving on. Get over it.
I will say though, when I do ghost, my ghost game is epic. You could be right next to me. It's like it never existed in my entire life. Don't know you. Bobby Schmurder took to Twitter and posted, "Stop asking me to drop music. American DSP don't allow Bodman on playlists because I don't paint my fingernails. So it's pointless." Ooh, do you think his audience isn't interested? Or does it seem to be an agenda that preferences artists who don't follow social norms? Armand, what do you think about this?
That is so annoying because that's basically trying to say he's not gay or he's not feminine. It's like every time an artist doesn't get celebrated or a straight guy doesn't get something in the industry, it's because they didn't conform to homosexuality or this idea to femininity and being a Black man that is now gay or being turned out or this agenda being pushed. Listen, being gay is not this just easy thing because we don't even really get to see the forefront of the industry most of the times. If you really want to talk about it, we are always the back end. We're the stylist. We're the hairdresser. We are the voice. We are the grammar. We're the personality. And it's taken from us and given to the straight men or given to the women, and they become the gay men in these straight men bodies and these women bodies. So at the end of the day, I'm so tired of these people trying to make it seem like if you're not gay for pay, you won't have a career. When at the end of the day, gay people have to be behind the scenes and give everyone else life when we have to sit here and say, yes, 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 that's fab girl and everything else. So I just went on a rant, but that sends me.
You did. Okay, Al, what do you think?
Hey, I let him feel how he feel. I can't follow up that with anything. I definitely felt like that there was a sprinkle of homophobia there with the comment, but wasn't he the one dancing and acting crazy online? And wasn't he the one that having the conversation? Remember he did his coming out or his album review or something, and it was very cringy. So I don't know. I think it has nothing to do whether you wearing fingernail polish or not, sir. I think it has to do with your ability to make good music.
I'm going to say this. I think two things can be true at the same time. Yes, I do think people can use that as an excuse. Oh, it's because I didn't play along with the game. That's why I didn't get the opportunity. But I cannot deny as someone that was in Hollywood for 20 some years, there is definitely an agenda of people wanting to control men and break them down and turn them out and make them do things that they might not want to do against their will. Or sometimes it is again with their will. They act like it wasn't. I will say there is an element of that in the business, but there also is a part of the industry of people that didn't make it. It's like, it's because I didn't play the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's both. I think two things can be true at the same time because I definitely done heard some stories. I don't know if he's one of them, but I definitely have heard the stories. And
I'm just saying, why aren't there so many successful gay men in the public media if that was all you had to do is be gay? You know how many of us it is? We're still the cousin or the best friend or the backseat rider up. We're not the main story.
I think there's a lot of men that are hiding that they're gay and that are selling a straight man narrative and a visual to the people in the business. I think there's a few of that, some of that happening. They seem to like me. Okay, coming up. Is it selfish for people in their 50s and 60s to have babies? It's coming up next, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
We are chopping it up with the host of Marriage Bootcamp, Dr. Ish Major. Welcome to the show.
TGIF.
When you and I sit down and have a heart-to-heart with no phones, no distraction, am I your person? That's the question.
Every weekday.
Kelly says, I love Ish on my screen. Is he single asking for a friend?
Join the chat.
I am single, Kelly. Who's the friend?
Kelly, who's the friend? Please comment back.
On Fox Soul.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. Because when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
My mom wanted my life to be better than what she had as a kid. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. You always want the next generation to have something better than what you had.
Welcome back to the show. All right, a Wisconsin father is under fire after he ran on stage and prevented the black superintendent from shaking his daughter's hand during her high school graduation. Check this out.
Oh, excuse me. Where's Brendan?
You better get up
Where's
off
Brendan?
me, man.
Where's
Get away from me, bro.
No, don't.
Hey, no. Hey, you need to get. Hey.
Walk away.
You gotta go.
I will get
Out right now.
I don't want her
I don't care. Get off the stage right now.
The father was heard saying, "That's my daughter. I don't want her touching him." What are your thoughts on this crazy situation, Al? What do you think about this? You're on mute. Go ahead, Armand.
I think that's crazy, and I just think it's disgusting that you're that racist and you can't even hide it for your daughter's graduation. That's super selfish and disgusting.
Absolutely. He took our moment away from her. Al, what do you think?
Yeah, I just think it's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. And I would charge him with assault for pushing me on the side and also detaining me from going back to my position as superintendent. This just wouldn't end up well for that family at all if that was me as a superintendent of that school system.
You just took your daughter's moment away because your racism couldn't chill. Now, unless this guy did some kind of abusive thing to your daughter, which you should be going to the police, now making a scene at her graduation, shame on you, racist, small man. All right, this next story is sure to ruffle some feathers and maybe even some stepfathers. Daniel Kuzo posted, "Stepdads are men that women wouldn't date if they didn't have kids." Oh my God, why are men being shamed for helping take care of kids that are not theirs? And does she raise a valid concern, Armand?
No, I mean, I didn't get along for my stepdad for a long time, but no, I don't want to say. No. Go somewhere else.
Too close to home. Okay, I'm gonna leave you alone.
I don't want to get into it.
Al, go ahead. We won't get.
I didn't understand what the actual tweet was. So
basically, why are men being shamed if they like step up and they get with women that have kids? Like men, the people kind of coming for stepdads. You know, like.
Got it. And so they're saying the woman with the kids would never pick that guy if she didn't have kids. Mm-hmm. Oh, I think that's rude and that's inappropriate, and I don't think that's true. I think any dad that steps in that space to be a dad in a dadless home should be rewarded and talked and held in a high regard.
Why are people so miserable? You know, like it's a love story. They overcame a lot. The woman had kids. The man stepped up, said, "I want to marry you and help you with your family." And he's shamed. I respect men that do this, and I don't think that's a simp thing. Like I think that's so corny. And people say that. All right, real quick. Boy Meets World actress Trina McGee announced that she's pregnant with her fourth child at, get this, 54 years old. And while she was met with congratulations, it also sparked a heated conversation about the life expectancy. And is it selfish for people that age to have kids? Real quick, we don't have a lot of time, but what do y'all think? Is it selfish, Al? What do you think?
Absolutely not. I find this to be pretty dope. It's beautiful and it's amazing. Janet Jackson did it. Cheryl Teagues did it. A number of other people did it. Kenya wasn't as old, but she was close to 50. And I think to give women the opportunity to be parents when they've wanted to be parents, this is awesome and it should be celebrated.
Armand?
I think it's great.
Okay. Hey, and listen, if you can still get pregnant at 54, I congratulate you. And maybe, it's a blessing, especially if she has a healthy child. And my friends are all in my DMs now and to my texts telling me, "See, Claudia," I'm like, leave me alone. All right. I want to thank my guests, Stokely, Ty James, and Jacarius Johnson, and my co-hosts, Al Reynolds and Armand Wiggins, for joining me tonight. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Stay tuned for Fox Soul Face Up. We can see Quanell letting them have it. Okay. That comes on right up after this. And we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Have a good night, soulmates.